right, Nick, the first thing I'm gonna have you do is like a fill in the blank.
Okay.
The last year has been...
Last year's been a journey.
Landover, Maryland. It's Thursday Night Football here at the start of week 2.
Lady!
I'll never forget the sound of it. Crack, crack, pop. And the next thing I knew, I was on my back.
And this is Nick Gates. And appears to be in a lot of pain.
You know, saw my foot in a 90-degree angle going to the left.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You didn't see it?
Man, dude.
This way.
Sideways.
Oh, they're bringing the air cast out. This is severe.
I've always been like, you know, try to be like that tough guy that tries to, you know, doesn't matter as long as if you could get up and get off the field, you better get up and get off the field. You know, that's just always been my mindset.
Casey, you a tough mother boy. I love you, boy. Yo, you a tough mother boy. Love you, boy.
Well, let's hope that with this kid's work ethic and perseverance and the fact that he was a free agent, let's hope it turns into another Richie Soybert story.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of force to break a big guy like that's leg at that age. So it was what we consider a high energy injury. He didn't just break it in one place, he broke it in multiple places. What was good is the injury didn't break his skin. In other words, it was not an open injury, it was a closed injury. They took him to the operating room within 12 hours in Washington, D.C., and they did what anybody would do. They realigned his leg.
So they cut me open at the top of my knee and basically take a hammer and just, you know, pound this nail down into my in the middle of my tibia where all like the bone marrow is and stuff. And then I had 2 screws put in the top and 2 screws put in the bottom of the tibia all together.
But that's not the end of it, unfortunately, because within 24 hours, we sometimes see with high energy injuries, when the skin is closed, that the muscle swells. When that happens, it's really an emergency again.
So they did the surgery, and then you monitor that first couple of days. By about the first postoperative day, he, as many patients do, had excessive swelling. What they do is called a fasciotomy to release the swelling.
With the compartment syndrome, if you don't catch it in enough time, your muscles and your nerves in your leg will die, and then they have to go in there and either cut those muscles and nerves out, or if it gets to be really bad, they have to, you know, amputate your leg from wherever it was. But luckily, they caught it in enough time, and, you know, they were quick about it. And after they caught it, it was in the ER like an hour or 2 later. So it was definitely, you know, a roller coaster of emotions. Once they said they caught it soon enough, and they like right before I went into surgery, they're like, all right, you're good. You're like, the chances of you losing your leg are very slim. So after that, it kind of calmed down. And I remember my first question coming out of that surgery was like, can I play football again? And they're like, yeah. You know, as long as everything heals good.
When you do a fasciotomy, you have to leave the skin open and not close it because it's under so much tension and pressure from swelling. So that necessitates going back to the OR every couple of days to kind of wash that area out and eventually put a skin graft on. So that's why there's several subsequent operations.
An elite athlete is the ultimate stress on the system, especially for a lineman. I mean, if you think of the strength that they need in their legs is enormous. Obviously, if you were a recreational individual or athlete, recovering from this would be, we would expect. To get back to the elite level, really would take an aggressive athlete who really wanted to do that.
Just to get it out of the way. Any fear of the worst case scenario that you might not play again, or you think you'll be back on the field at some point, whenever that is?
I mean, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm still just taking it day by day.
Beginning of this year, It seemed like he was still having a lot of pain and he couldn't really function ambulating and during the rehab, even though the x-rays looked okay.
It became evident that healing was slow, which can be the case in these tibial fractures. They can so-called delayed union. By February, he's at that point like 5 months after surgery. Healing was not progressing as much as you'd like, and that can be due to the complexity of the injury, the fact that he had the compartment syndrome and the subsequent surgeries. All those factors are kind of contributory towards slow healing.
Dr. Rodeo called me up again, and I suggested he bring him in to see me. And the CT scan clearly demonstrated that it had not healed. So therefore, at that stage, now he's already 5.5 months out, you need to do something.
So I had an infection in my tibia that I think it was some staphylococcus or something like that. And so they had to go in and pull the rod out that was in my tibia and clean it out. And, they went and put another rod in and 2 more screws at the top and 2 more screws at the bottom.
It's almost like starting from zero, not quite. I mean, luckily at that point he had good soft tissue coverage, the skin graft had all healed, didn't have the initial swelling, that you had from the initial injury. But it did involve doing what's called exchange nailing, taking out the nail or the rod, the hardware, and redoing that to really optimize the healing environment.
I've never had a major injury, so I wanted to show everybody I could come back, and I could definitely come back from, something this bad. And everybody always counted me out from day one. Everybody's like, I don't know if he's ever gonna play again. And, first of all, I didn't even know if I was gonna keep my leg or not. So just trying to prove to everybody that I could do it again.
His motivation was unsurpassed. All he wanted to do all the time, he says, Doc, when can I get back? When can I get back? They need me. When can I get back? I told him he couldn't go back for training camp. He says, Doc, come on, I can go back for training camp. They had to hold him back really until he was fully recovered.
Giants football is on the air from Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington. It's the New York Football Giants taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
I get the chills just thinking about him.
Nick Gates playing for the first time since September the 16th. What a comeback is in. 2nd and goal from inside the 1. Jones over center. Hand off Barkley, lowers his shoulder left, and he's in for the touchdown.
Guess who he ran off of? Number 65, Gates. He cleared the way for him. Nick Gates puts his man all the way over the center.
It was definitely a good feeling to be back out there on the field, and right when especially the first play being we scored too, which was, I don't know, you could see the replay. Now I'm on the ground kicking and just punching air, just there was a lot of emotions going through. I looked like a little child throwing a tantrum on the ground, but just the emotions that were running through my head, and it's just so excited to be back out there.
Talk about it, be about it. Talk about it, be about it.
Just make me you're just a football player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You just give me that feeling. I love that, bro. I'm happy to have you back for real, bro.
Appreciate that.
You got to see lessons in everything when you go through stuff, and I think that was definitely a lesson I learned, was to be patient and just learn to just go with it and try to go with the flow basically. And there's nothing you can do about it, and just got to keep fighting and keep pushing forward and keep looking to the next step, the next day. Don't look too far down the road and don't look behind you. Just control what you can control and just keep taking that next step forward, putting that foot in front of the other.